A girl named Lingzi comes inside a cave together with what they call the Great Evil Dragon. She then begs the dragon to devour her, but the dragon calls her silly. The girl thought that the dragon might not like her like a delicious meal. The dragon named Ravienda, however, told her that he is not an evil dragon nor a carnivore, but rather a herbivore. The girl then understands it, but she proceeds to lie herself near the fruits prepared to offer to him her life. She thinks that the dragon is just laying low along with his hidden power that far surpasses the demon lord. It is then revealed that the dragon has been living for over 5,000 years already, and he is honestly surprised how people have had an image of him being a general of the demon lord's army. He grew bigger, but lacks the courage to harm anyone ever since, even running away from a rabbit. Ravienda asks her to go back, but the girl said that she has no parents, and that no one would miss her if she dies. She then offers her soul if her flesh is not enough. The girl is just keen on dying, but the dragon recognizes a trace of magical power exuding around her, saying it's such a waste for her to die. The dragon came up with a bright idea, saying that high-ranking dragons can devour the soul of a person without killing a person. He mentions how her soul is very delicious, and the girl is delighted and declares that she is now the great evil dragon's disciple. Ravienda is dumbfounded by this, telling her that he will bring her to the village and ride his back. As the dragon walks towards the village, he wonders why animals are fearful of him when he is only a vegan. Upon arrival at the village, he was hoping for a warm reception, but instead was greeted with fearful gazes, while the villagers kept being cautious around the dragon. The village chief then asks the dragon why he visited. Ravienda asks why they sent a sacrifice to him, which made the village chief anxious as maybe the sacrifice wasn't to his liking. He then mentions that he has already devoured her soul, and to never offer another sacrifice again, as his taste buds will be contaminated. While the dragon thinks about leaving the girl to the village, he is worried about the girl being an orphan. So, he told the villagers that the girl has done a good job providing him a delicious soul, so he asks them to take care of the girl properly. A rock is suddenly thrown to the dragon, and we see the dragon actually hurt by this and villagers panicking. A boy then questions him why he devoured Lingzi's soul, and proceeded to lunge toward Ravienda, and just as he was about to strike, the villagers stopped the boy and asked for mercy and forgiveness. The boy called the dragon a monster while swearing to get revenge for devouring Lingzi's soul. She then approaches the boy and tells him that the dragon is not a monster, and she's a disciple of the dragon now. So she told him to not be rude with the dragon, or she will not hesitate to kill him. The boy then pleads to give the girl's soul back, telling him that he is supposedly the sacrifice to be offered to the dragon. The chief then tells him that he can't do that, as he is the heir to the village and already spent a lot of money for the girl to be sacrificed. The boy shouts that Lingzi is not some cattle to be killed, and that the village should perish if an innocent girl is to be sacrificed. The dragon thinks that the boy should be enough to protect Lingzi as he cares for her, but a bell is heard, and a pack of dark wolves have approached the village. These wolves produce clones from their shadows while being aggressive, which makes the great evil dragon anxious as he's surrounded. The villagers, however, cheered him, as he is the invincible dragon, despite being weak. Ravienda tried to threaten the wolves, saying that he is a general of the demon lord and to scramble away. It didn't work though, as the wolves just ignored him, but his disciple came on top of his back, and can no longer bear to watch her master being insulted. Large amounts of magic then gush from her eyes and body. She proceeded to dash towards the wolves and say that the dragon does not need to bother with lowly creatures, that she is enough. She then proceeded to wipe the wolves one by one and demonstrate power that surpasses even the few great wizards of all time. She then proceeded to tell the dragon that it's an honor to be his disciple, as the dragon is perplexed about this. Seems like a great power suddenly awakened within the girl. Ravienda asks the chief to have a talk with a boy named Liat, who tried to attack him. The boy believes that the dragon passed on his power to Lingzi and is making her do all the work. Lingzi then said that it's a good opportunity to take everything from his house, as he seemed to chase him away from the village. Liat is still happy, however, as she finally accepted the clothes he actually made for her. Lingzi says that she is happy now to be independent, and will move out together with the dragon to defeat the demon lord and bring peace to everyone. She then urged the dragon to fly as his powers are at its strongest on a full moon's night. The dragon remembers that he can't fly. However, Lingzi made wings that enabled them to fly. The dragon is hesitating to fight the demon lord as they will die for sure, so he calms her down and tells her to go to a town first and learn about what has happened in the world for 5,000 years. Lingzi then agrees and uses clairvoyance to search for a town, and mentions that while there are excellent adventurers there, prices have risen there, but the dragon stops her about the extra information. Seems like inflation is also a problem here, and not just in our world. As they approach the town, they notice how bright it is. The dragon was happy at first that as she manages to leave Lingzi there, he'll be able to go back to his laid-back life in the forest. However, he sees the town indeed brightly lit as it is set on fire, with monsters roaming around. A guard spots the monster and alerts everyone, so the soldiers also draw their bows and fire arrows. Lingzi then proceeded to gather magical energy and proceeded to scream it all out, which destroyed every monster and projectiles in the air. As the dragon lands, Lingzi then called them fools, saying that the dragon wishes no harm, asking if they really want to attack him while calling them weaklings. A knight then approaches them and introduces herself as Ilianti, the leader of the city called Paleodonor. And Lingzi then declares that before her is the great evil dragon Ravienda that is on a mission to subdue the demon lord. Ilianti then recognizes that the girl's power is already stronger than her after becoming the dragon's disciple. She mentions that it's obvious how Lingzi's magic is very powerful but lacks control. The dragon then decided to give them a hand. It seems that the monsters keep on regenerating as the bones of those that they've slain become monsters too. The knight then asks the dragon to wipe out the monsters in the air once again, but Ravienda doesn't have any power, so he asks Lingzi to do this instead. Lingzi gladly accepts and flies to the sky, swiftly killing every monster in sight. The dragon mentions that 1,000 years ago, he saw a similar tactic to invade humans, so there must be a leader manipulating the corpses. Someone that can see everything from above, like in a tower for example. Ilianti then orders the soldiers to search for the leader. Lingzi comes back, and the dragons ask her to sleep while she can. It is now her new mission. As rain starts to pour down, slowly putting the fire away, he thinks how Lingzi will be safe in this city together with the knight, who seems like a good person. As Lingzi sleeps, we see a flashback of her memories. She lets tears flow out of her eyes while calling out to his dad. Ilianti then approached the dragon and didn't expect how he is so caring of his disciple. He then asks her a favor to leave Lingzi in the city, but Ilianti doubts him and asks what kind of scheme this is. The dragon then mentions that Lingzi herself can wipe away the monsters, and that he is not really her master in that way. If she trains, she can be a great wizard. The knight finds it hard to believe that the powers came from the girl herself, and not from Ravienda. She doesn't trust the dragon yet, but she agrees to accommodate her. She then asks why he's betraying the Demon King. He tried to clear up the misunderstanding that he is no evil dragon, but merely a vegan dragon. She doubts him again, and the dragon is not surprised anymore. She questions how could a human child suddenly use strong powers. Ravienda said that maybe she's a divine child. The knight said these are just legends. She finds it hard to believe, and should she really be a divine child, then everyone might be in trouble as her own magic might devour her, turning her into a real evil dragon. Ilianti then asks again why he is betraying the Demon King. She said that he shouldn't get so full of himself to throw his future away, but the dragon has no idea what she's talking about. She then draws her sword for not answering, claiming he's a loyal swordsman of the Demon King. This made the dragon really anxious because he can't really fight, and as she is about to strike him, Lingzi stops her just in time. Lingzi asks for forgiveness for being asleep when there is an enemy right in front of them, and then the two fight with their swords. However, Lingzi is already exhausted from the previous fight, and while Lingzi has the upper hand in magic, the knight has more experience and skill with the way of the sword. As the dragons watch their fight, he notices that Ilianti is predicting every attack of Lingzi to guard perfectly, which puts Lingzi in a total disadvantage. As Ilianti dashes behind Lingzi, she jumps to dodge the attack, but it's a mistake that makes her lose their fight. The knight then lunges her sword toward the dragon, but the dragon overacts, since the sword just inflicts pain without any physical damage. The knight plans to take her time to inflict pain upon the dragon until she's satisfied. The soldiers seem to misunderstand this though, thinking that they're just getting closer. The knight then realizes that Ravienda is indeed weak, and apologizes for testing them, as well as admitting the lie about being a soldier of the Demon Lord. She suggests not to reveal his weakness though, as the little girl believes in him. His bounty is also next to the Demon Lord, which makes him an attractive target for bounty hunters. The dragon asks if she can do something, but just bids him good luck. There is, however, something she can do, and asks him to tell the girl that the fight was all a dream when they wake up. The dragon said that the girl might be young, and she might doubt him, but Alieni said that Lingzi will believe everything, as long as it's coming from Ravienda. Lingzi screams inside an inn, and is surprised that the dragon's body has shrunk. If this video reaches 200 likes, we'll make a part 2. Subscribe for more, and I will see you guys soon.